All right, it's time for another indie book review, and today we have The Reader by M.K. Harkins. Now, M.K. Harkins is not exactly a brand new author. She also has out Intentional, Unintentional, Breaking Braden, and Taking Tiffany. All seem to have pretty high reviews. I haven't personally read them. My first one that I read was The Reader, and I actually really ended up enjoying it. It was very reminiscent of L.J. Smith's The Strange Visions trilogy, and I really enjoyed that, especially as far as the romance went. Now, I am a sucker for love triangles. I can't even lie about that. I think they're a lot of fun to read, and I know some people aren't really a huge fan of it, but I personally love them. So if you like them, I really think you'll enjoy this one. Now, Anne is a girl who has lost her memory, and she's washed up on the shore near Seattle. She's taken in by a couple of guys named Devin and Archer, and they take her back to basically their sanctuary, where she's supposedly part of some sort of a prophecy or something kind of like it, where someone that she connects with, a guy in particular, is basically going to change everything as far as their fight against the enemy goes. One of the things I particularly like about this is that a lot of times, at least in modern young adult fiction, when you end up reading about main character female who's in between two guys, a lot of the women she comes across are just terribly awful and catty and things like that. And there is a little bit of that in here, but she does actually have a best friend that she's very close with, and that really helps. I really think it's a shame that a lot of young adult stories don't focus so much on the good relationships that women can have in between each other. So I love it when a book actually goes and does that. I think it's fantastic. It really just adds a new layer to everything, and it makes everything seem a little less petty. Don't get me wrong, teenagers can be petty, but I really don't think they need more of that in their lives. They have it quite enough. What I liked about this in particular, definitely the love triangle, but it did keep me guessing a little bit as far as whether she was going to end up with either Devin or Archer. I sort of guessed early on, that's because I had a bit of a bias, so I think I was just hoping. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't tell you who. But by the end of it, I actually found that the other guy, especially everything that he went through and the little betrayals that happened, I thought they made him a lot more interesting, and I kind of wish he'd ended up with him by the end of that. So I kind of flip-flopped at the very last part of it, which is really interesting because I normally don't really do that. There is quite a bit of a paranormal in this. I do like that there's that aspect to it because I've always been a sucker for the paranormal and supernatural thing. So I really like that she's sort of this kind of, reader. She's the reader, and she can hear things and sense things that you can't completely make something out of. So that's pretty fantastic too. It adds a really fun layer to everything. A really fun part of the book is when she kind of ends up sneaking out of the sanctuaries to find out what happened to her parents. Now she believes that she's orphaned. Everything leads her to believe that she's orphaned, and she thinks that there's more to the story. So she sneaks out and she goes to her house where the enemy ends up catching up to her. And she has to use quite a bit of her wit to get out of it, along with a little bit of help from the friends that she's made at this sanctuary. So that was actually kind of cool too. I thought it was just a neat little side adventure that really added something to the story. Anne is pretty likable. There are definitely sometimes I found myself wanting to pull my hair out, but that's kind of normal in any young adult fiction. You have to at least once question what in the world are they doing. But she's really likable. She's not snooty. She's just very personable. She's just someone that you probably would have had a friend with in high school. So, of course, I love that sort of thing. I like being able to connect with the main character in a way that I would think that I would totally be friends with this person. Now, this is just a one-part book. There are no sequels, and the author doesn't plan to make any. But for what that is, it's really, really good. I actually kind of wish that she would make a sequel because I feel like there's more that could be done. But as it is, it's really fantastic. Just one book read. It's something that's just kind of lighthearted and fun. There's not too much of any one thing to make you too depressed or anything like that. So especially for a rainy day sort of read, definitely something to kick back and enjoy and relax with. You can really tell that M.K. Harkins writes the things that she wishes that she saw more of, and I can definitely see why. Like I said, it's reminiscent of some of L.J. Smith's works. Of course, I'm a huge fan of that. Like, just for that alone, I'm going to be checking out her other books here sometime soon. And if I find anything more, I'll definitely tell you guys about it. It's fun. It gives me a lot of nostalgia back to when I first started reading young adult. And I like the story. It's a cute, kind of dangerous read, and it's exciting, and the characters are likable, and there's just a lot going on that makes it pretty awesome to just fill your head with all these images. And there's so much emotion in it, and I got really caught up in things that were happening inside the sanctuary. If you're a fan of young adult, good characters, love triangles, and a little bit of paranormal and a little bit of mystery, absolutely check out The Reader. It is so much fun. I got so caught up in it, I did not want to put this story down. It was really difficult to have to walk away from it for real life obligations. It's just that enjoyable to get lost in. Absolutely check out The Reader by M.K. Harkins.